So let's bring in the airplane geometry. I'm just going to drop a file node here and find this plane Vegeo file. Grab that, take a look. Okay, so there we've got this airplane with all this lovely detail on the inside, which is where our camera will be, around here. Okay, and first of all, excuse me, let's split out the chairs. So we've got name attributes on all of these. If I select that, well, you can see I'm selecting the, if you press 9, and then you can select by the name attributes. Okay, you can see that also if I go into the geometry spreadsheet, you can see we've got these name attributes, and chairs is one. So I can use that, add name is chair, and that should just grab me all of the chairs. Like that. Do I need a... I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, and then what I want to do is just isolate one of these chairs, pack it, and then duplicate it all along. So I'll have a bit more control that way. Okay, so I'm just going to grab the first chair here, which I think is chair 11, if I remember correctly. So they're all kind of named. They're all named, but you can see that they've got these seat numbers and everything. So if I drop a delete, okay, and then here I'm going to delete non-selected. Excuse me, add name is, and then put, if I put, I think chair underscore 11, that should get me, nope. I need chairs underscore 11. There we go. So there I get the first set there. Okay. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to pack it. So it gives me one kind of thing with one point, which makes it easier for me to work with. And then drop a transform and put that into the center. Right, move centroid to origin. There we go. So yeah, I guess you guess I'm going to use a copy to points to put this chair where I want, basically where the other ones are. So to do that, we'll use a grid and visualize these chairs. Okay, and kind of, if we press spacebar and 2, then we can put this grid into the correct position. Right, so if I take this back here, back there, so we've got how many chairs? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So if we have 13 rows, we'll have 13 points. So I want 1 point for each chair. Okay, and then just 2 columns. So we'll have if I go into wireframe, you'll see there. So you know, this point for that chair, 1 for there, and so forth. Okay, and then I'll just line them up like that. I've got some values worked out, so I'll just drop them in, so we're sure that it works. But we're more or less in the right. We're already in the right ballpark. 0.496, and then change the center. That's pretty much 0, and then obviously I will need to raise it up a bit. So 4.24813. Okay, and then there's 1.23382. Right, and then I'm going to, so we don't have a chair there, and I think this should be 0.1, so I can just delete that. I just drop a delete, set it to point, and put 1. Simple as that. And then a copy to points. Copy to points, drop that down. The geometry on the left, points on the right, visualize that. You can see there, if I hide that, they're all rotated weird. So if we just turn off transform using orientation, then they're where we want them to be. Okay, more or less exactly where these are. It's not exact, but not far off, close enough. Okay, but now I have a bit more control with these. You know, I've got 1 point here which represents each chair, and I'm going to use them basically to source my crowd agents. Okay, so we want 2 agents per chair. So what I'm going to do is drop a line on per point, and then that line will have 2 points, 1 for each agent, right? So later on we'll continue with this, and this will be part of the simulation as RBD objects. For now, I'm going to drop a line. Okay, and let's turn on the template. Well, no, let's turn that off for a moment and think about what we want to do. So this line needs to be in a different direction, so horizontal like that, and to length make it a bit longer, and this, or so it's in the middle. We could do it like this. We copy this and then paste relative references there, and then 0.5, and it will be, should be in the middle. Oh, minus, sorry. There we go. Don't see the numbers for my grid for some reason. Is that because I'm in? Never mind. It's in the middle anyway. I trust that it is. And then let's see. We need another copy to points. Here. Okay, and we're going to connect the line on the side. So this time, this is the geometry we're going to copy and drop them on. Okay, so there I've got for each chair a line. And yeah, we need, so on this line we have, yeah, we got 2 points. Let's drop an add to get rid of the primitive that we've got. Delete geometry, but keep the points. Okay, so you can see where I'm going with this now, hopefully. And then we'll need to transform it, sorry. Well, let's connect it up first. What's going on here? Bit of a weird error there. But don't worry, it should go when I'll close and open Houdini in a moment. So we could just, yeah, straight away, excuse me, connect them up. You can see they're, first of all, facing the wrong way. So let's just turn them around. The heading we want in that direction, I think. Let's see, oh, minus. -1, there we go. And then obviously the scale, they're a bit small. So let's take a look at the scale. I'm going to jump into the randomized scale, push them up a bit more, 0.3. There we go. Okay, and then obviously we'll need to bring the points down. Transform. I'm going to bring these down a little bit. I've got again, I've got some values worked out so it lines up nicely. 9,449. That's way too much. What have I done? Oh, I've put it in the scale. I want that in translate. Okay. As you can see there, they're just kind of touching the chairs. A bit of overlap is fine, and then they just need to move in Z. There we go. So they're on the chairs. They still look a bit small. Okay, their feet are not touching on the floor, which maybe is a bit weird. But our camera angle is going to be something like that, you know, we're not going to see their feet. So it doesn't, I'm not too worried about that. Okay. You know, what's more important to me is I don't want them overlapping side to side like this. Which, you know, it can be, you know, on a normal aeroplane, you're normally quite scrunched up, and to kind of tune that in with the rigs is quite difficult. So I'd prefer to do it this way. Cool. Let's see what else. Yeah, we could also, you know, so that we don't have a full aeroplane, similar to, I think we did it before with the stadium simulation. If we change the sort the points, so if I visualize this now, we've got, you know, they're all in order, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. If we randomize this, random, and just give it a seed, and then we delete by range, delete points by range, and do maybe like 1 of 5, then we'll get less agents. Okay, we don't have a full aeroplane anymore. Great. Okay.